Hi friends, I'm Rohn Strong and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be stitching up the Sand Dollar Afghan. This is probably my most anticipated pattern release of the year. It's incredibly beautiful. I really love this Afghan and I can't wait to show you how to stitch this up. It's extremely easy. 4 rounds, that's it. We got 4 rounds worked in 3 different colors, so that does mean we have quite a bit of ends to weave in. But I'm going to show you a really cool tip in this class here that's exclusive to this YouTube video, and that's how to join your squares together seamlessly without actually having to seam the squares together. I know, it's a lot of fun. Okay, so here's our Afghan. It's really pretty. So let's take a look at it up close. So basically what we have is a square. This is our square here. And this square is made up of 4 rounds. We have our first round, our second round, our third round, and then our fourth round. That's it. Each of these is then joined to the other. So I'm going to be using different colors, but I'm still going to be using the yarn that the pattern calls for, which is Lion Brand Yarn's Color Made Easy. This is a bulky number 5, 100% acrylic yarn. We're going to be using a hook that's a little bit smaller than what you would normally expect for a bulky yarn, and that is a K, 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. So to get started, I'm going to pop my pattern up there. And you can find the pattern for this on my blog. The link is in the description down below. If you'd rather buy this as a kit with the yarn and everything included, just go to the link that's in the description down below. It'll take you to Lion Brand Yarn. You can get all of the yarn you need to make this entire Afghan for about 60 bucks. It's a really great deal, especially if the Lion Brand is having a sale. At that time, you can apply it to the kits. How cool is that? So, to get started, we're going to grab A, which in the Afghan is a cream color. For today, it's going to be pink, and we'll chain 5. Working into the 5th chain from the hook, I'm going to work a double crochet, chain 1 7 times. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm going to speed up here, 6, 7. And then I'm going to join to the 3rd chain of my beginning chain 5. Now one thing I should mention is that this pattern is rated at an easy level because it really is an easy pattern. It is not, however, a beginner pattern. If you'd like some, beginner Afghans, I do have those on the blog and you can find those linked down below. But this is a little bit, you should have a really good basic understanding of crochet stitches, which is why I'm not taking the time to show you what a double crochet is, what a chain is, all those kind of things. You should already know those if you're attempting to do this Afghan. All right, so for round 2, we're going to slip stitch into that next chain 1 space, then we'll chain 3. Now this chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. We're going to work 2 double crochets into that same chain 1 space. Then we'll chain 1. Working around, we're going to work 3 double crochets into each of the chain 1 spaces. I'm going to get some extra yarn here. So we're just going to work 3 double crochets in each chain 1 space around. And in between each of those 3 double crochet groups, we'll chain 1. And now we're at our very last chain 1 space. I'm going to work 3 double crochets into that space. Then I'll chain 1 and I'm going to join to my beginning chain 3 with a slip stitch. Then I'm going to fasten off. So to fasten off, I usually just chain 1 and then I cut my yarn, leaving myself a good length of tail, and then I pull it tight. Now, if you're making the entire Afghan, here's what I'm going to recommend you do. Whenever you fasten off, because you're going to have a large number of blocks. We'll have 42 total blocks. So I would work rounds 1 and 2 42 times. Make 42 center medallions. These are our sand dollar part, right? So make 42 of these. Then weave in the ends on all 42. Trust me, it's going to be so much easier than weaving in and waiting until the end and having to weave in all your ends then. So for round 3, I have a slip knot on my hook. I'm going to insert it into a chain 1 space and pull up a loop. At this point, I'll have 2 loops on my hook and I yarn over and pull through 2. That's called joining with a single crochet. I'm going to chain 3, and then into my next chain 1 space, I'm going to work a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. Then chain 3, skip the next 3 double crochet, single crochet into the next chain 1 space. And we essentially repeat that around. We chain 3, and then into the next chain 1 space, we work a double crochet, a chain 1 double crochet, chain 1 double crochet, and double crochet. Then we'll chain 3, skip the chain 3 space, skip the next 3 double crochets, and then single crochet into that space. So I'm just going to go ahead and repeat that all the way around. I'm going to work a little bit faster. The most important thing is just to make sure that in each of these corners, you have your 4 double crochets, because the next round will not work if you don't have those. It's not as important to make sure you have all like the 3 chains in between each. That just helps the block. But it is important to have 4 double crochets in each of the corners. So I made my last corner, I chain 3, and I'm going to join in the top of that single crochet that I made when I joined with a slip stitch, and then I again fasten off. I chain 1, I cut my yarn, leaving myself a nice tail, and then what I would do again is I would take all 42 of my center medallions, and then I would weave in these 2 ends from this round, saving myself a whole lot of time. So for my round 4, I'm simply going to join in any chain 3 space that's to the right of my single crochets. So I'm going to join it just like I did on the last round. Then I'm going to chain 3 and work 2 double crochets into that same chain 3 space. Then I'll chain 1, and into the next chain 3 space, I'm going to work 3 double crochets. Then I'm going to work a double crochet into the next chain 1 space, skipping that next double crochet. All right, then I'll chain 1, and into the next chain 1 space, I'm going to work a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Then I'll chain 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space, then work 3 double crochets into the next chain 3 space. Chain 1 into the next chain 3 space, work 3 double crochets. Into the next chain 1 space, work a double crochet. Chain 1 into the next double crochet space. So another corner, we'll work a double crochet, a chain 1, a double crochet, a chain 1, and a double crochet. Then we chain 1, double into the next chain 1 space, and we repeat that around. And then we just join to our beginning chain 3. All right, so as you continue to work around, you're just going to finish this round, making sure that you have your 3 double crochets in each corner. Now, like I said in the pattern, there's a few ways that you can join these together. And it'll make sense why I didn't actually finish crocheting this in a minute. So this is what it'll look like finished. You can seam these together simply by working a whip stitch. You can single crochet through the back loop, working through both back loops, and just crochet them together like that. Or you can do what I do, which is joining them as you go. So you're going to work your very last round a little bit differently than what the pattern calls for. And like I said, this is exclusive to this video, so you're not going to find this tip anywhere else. What I'm going to do is work across or around my square, following the directions in the pattern until I get to a corner, and then I'm going to work a double crochet, a chain 1, and a double crochet. And I'm going to stop. Now, in our normal corner, we would have worked a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So we have 3 double crochets and 2 chain spaces in each corner. For this join, we're only going to work a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. That's it. We'll chain 1. We're going to grab our other motif here, and we're going to place our half-finished motif on top of our finished motif. Then we're going to find that corner, which is right here. We're going to find that second chain 1 space. So that's right here. And I'm going to insert my hook into that stitch, or into that space, and I'm going to pull up a loop, and then I'm going to pull this loop through this loop here. Then I'm going to chain 1. I'll yarn over my hook and insert it back into this chain 1 space and pull up a loop and then work a double crochet. Then I'll chain 1, and back here on my finished motif, I'm going to find the next chain 1 space, which is right here, insert my hook and pull up a loop and then pull this loop through this loop, then chain 1. Then I'm going to yarn over my hook and find the next chain 1 space on my unfinished motif and work a double crochet. Then I'm going to work 3 double crochets on my unfinished motif. Then I have a chain, so I need to chain 1, find the next chain space on my finished motif, which is right here, pull up a loop and pull through, and chain 1. Then in this chain 3 space on my unfinished motif, I'm going to work 3 double crochets into that chain 3 space. Then I'm going to work a double crochet into the next chain 1 space. Then I chain 1, find the next chain 1 space before the corner on my finished motif, which is right here, and slip stitch and then chain 1. Then in the center chain space of my corner on my unfinished motif, I'm going to work a double crochet and then chain 1, find the first chain space of my corner on my finished motif, slip stitch into that, and then chain 1. Then I'm going to simply finish the rest of the round on my unfinished motif. Then, when I open it up, I have a finished join, my motifs are joined together, and I have the finished round. How cool is that? Now, when you're making this, working this join, I would do an entire row, and then when you do your second row, you'll work your first one, and then you'll work your second one. And on that one, you'll join along 2 sides. So you'll have a square here, you'll join along this side and this side. Then you move to the next square, you will join along this side and this side. Well, I hope you enjoyed stitching up the Sand Dollar Afghan and learning how to join all of these motifs together. Remember, you can use a mattress stitch, you can use a slip stitch seam, or you can use the join as you go method. It's totally up to you. But I had a lot of fun stitching this up. Remember, all of the links for the free pattern and the kit are in the description down below. You'll also find links to all of my social media. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can always send me messages wherever, and I will always get back to you. If you haven't subscribed yet, take a minute to subscribe, smash that like button.